This is a freeform crochet design for the Lakers logo. To download the free drink sleeve, go to lydiahawk.com and type sports sleeve into the search field. There's also a free video tutorial I'm linking to in the description below. First, we'll be making the circle behind the L. I had to refilm this because I forgot to film a portion of it. You'll need your notions, 2 skeins of worsted weight yarn or size 4 yarn in purple and yellow, 1 size H8 5mm crochet hook, 1 tapestry needle, 1 stitch marker, and scissors. Start by making a slip knot with a long tail for attaching your logo to the cup sleeve. I make a loop and go through the top with my thumb and index finger, pulling the longest piece attached to the skein through the hole. Tighten to your crochet hook and chain 4. Now go into the first chain space and slip stitch. Round 1. Single crochet 6 stitches into your loop. Slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch, chain 1, and place your marker around the loop on your hook. Round 2. 2 single crochet into every stitch starting your first round of increases. You will have 12 stitches total. And as at the end of every round, slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch, chain 1, and place your marker around the loop on your hook. Round 3. Single crochet 1, 2 single crochet into the next stitch. This is starting your second round of increases. Repeat all the way around until you have 18 stitches total. Slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch, chain 1, and place your marker around the loop on your hook. Round 4. Single crochet 2, two single crochet into the next stitch. This is starting your third round of increases. Repeat all the way around until you have 24 stitches total. Slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch. With color B, chain 1 and place your marker around the loop on your hook. Round 5. Single crochet 3, two single crochet into the next stitch, starting your fourth round of increases. Repeat all the way around until you have 30 stitches total. Slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch and bind off, leaving a long tail for attaching to your drink sleeve. And my instructions say chain 2, so 1, 2. Going into the very first chain space, I'm going to go under those top 2 strands, yarn over, pull through, and single crochet 1. And then I'm going to chain 1 and turn. I'm going to do that 5 more times. Go into the 2 loops, yarn over, pull through, chain 1, single crochet 1, chain 1, turn, single crochet 1, chain 1, turn, single crochet 1, chain 1, turn, single crochet 1, chain 1, and that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and bind off. Leave a long tail. And that is the top. That's the top of our L. All right. Again, leaving a tail, a nice long tail, slip knot, chain 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Single crochet 8 for 2 rows. Now we've got 9 because this loop does not count as a chain. So right into, and if you need to count, if it's ever confusing, you can just do this right from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to go into this one and single crochet 1, and then do that 7 more times. Chain 1, turn. We're going to single crochet 8 again. And then bind off. So leaving a nice long tail. And that is our center L, just like that. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 1, turn, single crochet 2, 1, 2, turn, chain 1, and now it just says single crochet 1, turn. So we skipped, let's just do that one more time. So turn, chain 1, skip first, single crochet 1, chain 1, turn, and now we're going to single crochet rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and bind off. All right, now that we've got our L, we're going to need to attach our pieces. So you can see here, we're going to need to go into now this is the tricky part. There's a single crochet there, single crochet, single crochet. It's literally 6 rows, but because we're working along the side of the top of our L instead of the top, we have to kind of create stitches where we don't see them. So there's an easy looking one right here. And then there's this almost looks like a bottom of a chain space. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. And we need to be closer to the left side. So I'm going to start right in the center. Now I've got my tail right here on the right side, so I'm going to start in the center and I'm going to go right in, and then I'm going to go back into the center part of the L, and then I'm going to go into the very next area of the top and then back into the bottom. And that looks pretty good. And, you know, a lot of this for me is just undoing my work when I'm unhappy with it. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to stick with that. And then I'm going to go back through a few more times just to make sure that it's secure. And I'm just going to end with the tail in the back. So that looks good. Now we're going to do the same thing for the bottom. And we want to be in basically the same spot. So along the bottom edge, we've got what is easily 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we want to be in basically the same shape down here as we are up here. So 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to count 3 over. So there is what looks like the bottom of a chain area. 2, 3. So I'm going to go in here. And then into the next. And that looks pretty good. And I'm going to do that a few more times just to secure it to the bottom. That looks pretty good. And again, if you're unhappy, just undo your work, start over, whatever you have to do. But we want to make sure that we're looking at what we want to be looking at. That's all freeform crochet is. Now, one thing I'm going to also do different, I'm going to go into the back side of this one. So I've got a logo on both sides. I actually tacked both of them down at the same time, and I don't want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and tack down my basketball, essentially what this is. I'm going to go right into the center. With the center tail of my circle. And then I just want to secure the inside really good. This is just a matter of holding it and then going around. And I don't have to go around very far because I'm going to go all around the outside with this piece. So I'm going to stop right here. Make sure it's centered. Yep, it's centered. I'm going to weave in this end. I just kind of want to get some of the basic aspects of this out of the way before I get into what is really the trickier part of this, and that's going around the outside edge of that L with the slip stitch. I'm going to go ahead and bring this piece through. And do the same thing. Just going to weave in the ends. And you just want to go into the back stitches. You don't want to go through the front. You don't want to see the weave in. I'm not going very far because again I'm going to tack it all down with purple. Just make sure it's nice and flat. So you're not contorting it against the sleeve. Go all the way around. Now for the tricky part. I'm going to start in the lower L area because I want to end up here because this is where we're going to tack in. We use the tail to tack the L down. In order to get all the way around this L, what I want to do, and I'm shaping it as I go, so I'm starting in this lower corner and I'm creating stitches out of what are basically loops along the side of this row that we worked. Now I'm going to leave about 3 feet on one side, get like a 3-foot tail. So I've gone into the very first loop on this edge, and then I'm going into the second one, and I'm just going to slip stitch all the way around. And in places where I can see two, I'm going to go into the back one. We're shaping our L. We're giving it an edge because in the logo, at least the one I was looking at and working from, you can clearly see a yellow line framing our L. Every loop I can see, I'm going to go in. And it basically goes back and forth between one loop and then two, and where there's two, again, I'm going to the back loop. Now we want a nice smooth edge right here. So I'm going to push that knot out of the way and then go into the front loop next to it. And again, we've got a little loop here and here. We've got a loop here. Now where it does get even trickier, we do want some distinct edges. So like these corners. So when we get to certain places where we want maybe a square edge, we may have to go in and slip stitch a few times into the same loop. Like this very tip loop here, I'm going to go in twice. And then there's one right here, but I really don't want to go into that one. Now we're working, now I can see regular stitching. So I'm going to go into the back loop of all these top single crochet stitches. And I'm going to pause as I go to make sure that I like the look of everything. In fact, by the time we get right here, I'm going to go ahead and go into, see, look at that. That looks really good. And when I'm not happy, I just undo my work, go back, do it again until it looks the way I want it to look. Right here, there's a loop. And this entire row is a row of regular single crochet. So again, into the back loop for all of these, instead of going through two. That way we get as much of the purple showing as we can. Now before I get too far along, let me just make sure I'm happy. Yeah, that looks really good. Yep. In fact, there's one extra loop that doesn't need to be in the corner. Looks awkward, so I'm going to go back, skip that one. So they've got a little bit of a smoother transition. Yeah, that looks better. This is all visual. For me, Freeform Crochet is visual. And then I just, if I want to recreate what I've done, then I keep a prototype handy so that I can compare. And that looks really good to me. I love it. Now I'm back to kind of creating stitches or finding loops that I can go into. And since I'm at the edge here, I'm going to go into the same one twice because I want that line. I want that square edge. And I can only get that if I go into the edge and slip stitch twice. So again here, same thing. I'm going to go in twice. And then I'm going to work a few more, pause and go back and look at it to make sure. Yep, that is a nice square edge. Be careful because sometimes it will snag the material. Just try to go slow. This one doesn't seem as long, does it? Almost looks like I accidentally shortened it. Like it could have been longer. I may have to go back and redo that side. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I like it when it looks really good. Get that knot out of the way. This side has loops we can go into. We don't have to, because it's that loop of our chain, the very bottom. There's a part of me that wants to go back because I know this side's a little bit longer, but I'm not unhappy with it. It's still going to look great. Okay, we give one last assessment. I do wish the top part was longer on this side, but that's okay. I'm happy with it. And if I weren't, I would just go back and I would make sure that it were just a touch longer. But nope, it's great. So I'm going to cut a long tail. I'm going to pull through. I'm not even going to yarn over and pull through. I'm just going to pull through because I don't want that knot. I'm trying to make a seamless line around the edge. So now I'm just going to go in right back through. I think I can do that. Yep. There we go. And our L is going to go right on top like this. And our L is actually, I think, a little shorter than the other one I made. But no, it's not. It's because I put that purple line around it. So basically, before I was able to tack the top of the L right to the top of the sleeve and the bottom right to the bottom. But I think because of the bulk of our circle underneath, it's going to be closer to the next stitch, row of stitches. Now, we got a lot of loose yarn going on here, so I'm going to start with purple. I'm going to weave in all the purple ends. Our L has an angle to it, so I'm going to start with the longest strand down here. And I think I'm just going to start at the very bottom. But I want to make sure that I shape this to look as much like the logo as possible. I know it's got an angle. And it's not going to be the bottom. It's going to be the very next row. So there's the edge here that I was going into before. I'm going to go into the row just beneath that. I just want to make sure I've got this lined up the way I want. And start. I'm going to go back and forth. And I'm going to go into the center of our slip stitch stitches. So I'm going to create a nice line right along the edge here. And if I'm unhappy ever, I can always just go back, undo my work, start over. I'm doing this a little sloppier than I would normally because it's really hot in here. I want that L to be really straight right here. Nice strong angle. Oh yeah. Yeah, like that. Now I'm going to go through all of it. I can take a little finessing to get the needle through such thick yarn, but just take your time. Okay, that looks great. Now again, I just want to make sure I've got my L lined up the way I want. I want a nice slant there because the Lakers logo has that L at an angle, so I just want to match that. And just stop and constantly assess what it looks like. You don't have to hurry. I'm kind of hurrying. But that's just because it's hot in here. It still looks really good though. And it's with this stitching or sewing this down that you can straighten out those lines and get everything square. And up here again, we're not in the very top row of single crochets. We're right underneath. I may run out of yarn, but that's okay because I've got that other strand of yellow. Oh, I like it. I think that's really good. Normally I would just do one side, because 2 of these on this might be a little much for fitting over a coffee cup. See, it would probably go back, and not 100% happy with the top part. You could always work an extra row of single crochet on that one if you were unhappy with it. I'm just going to weave in this end. And then just work a few rows with this side. And go back the other way just to reinforce that edge. Maybe even go back right here and get just sort of hide that edge a little better. I think it looks really good. And I'm going to make another one, and I'm going to go a little bit slower. And then weave in the ends. Yeah, I think it looks really good with the extra purple. Just makes it pop out better. And there you have it, our Lakers logo for our DIY coffee sleeve. Looks really cool. Thank you so much for following this tutorial with me. Until next time.